Hey, shalom everyone, this is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from 1 Samuel chapter 23, verses 16 and 17, and I'm going to be reading from the Living Bible translation. I was reading this verse, and I began to think about people as individuals. I mean, how loving are we? How giving are we? How selfless are we? Especially when we are in a position of power, reputation, a position to have gain and influence. Are we so willing to give that up to somebody else? In this world and in this society, it's like we're taught and bred to look out for yourself. Look out for number one. Because if you don't help yourself, who will? If nobody looks out for you, who will? After all, don't you deserve the best? Don't you deserve a break today, as the old McDonald's commercial? Don't you deserve this? This is your right. And it's all about putting the individual first. It's all about three people, me, myself, and I. So I want to ask, how many of us out there are willing to give preferential treatment to someone else, even if that means we take a back seat, that we have to step out of the limelight, if we're not the ones that are getting praises and accolades and attention? I'm telling you, David's best friend Jonathan, who was Saul's son, who was the prince of Israel, who in the dynasty of Saul was next in line to take the throne. He was going to be king. But yet, while David was on the run from Saul because Saul was trying to kill him out of fear and jealousy, because God had said, your dynasty's ended, your kingdom is ended. I'm going to give it to someone else. And he knew it was going to be David. And here, while David and his men were hiding in caves in the wilderness of Ziph, it says, verse 16, Prince Jonathan now went to find David. He met him at Horesh and encouraged him in his faith in God. And he says, don't be afraid. Jonathan reassured him, my father will never find you. You are going to be the king of Israel, and I will be next to you, as my father is well aware. Verse 18, so the two of them renewed their pact of friendship, and David stayed at Horesh while Jonathan returned home. Think about it. I mean, Jonathan could have easily ratted David out to his father. He could have easily killed David himself and just thwarted prophecy and taken the throne, etc., etc. But David knew that Jonathan knew that his father Saul was in the wrong. He knew that David was in the right. He knew that God's anointing was on David. And he knew that, he was passed by to be the next king of Israel. All that power, all that wealth, all that glory, all that reputation. And he was willing to pass it up because in earlier passages, it talked about the friendship of David and Jonathan. And David and Jonathan loved each other as they loved themselves. And they were totally selfless. And they were just best buds, best friends. So I just think that shows a lot of Jonathan's character, that he was willing to step aside and say, okay, David is the one that God has chosen, not me, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to be by David's side. I'm going to assist him in any way possible for him to be able to take the throne and to rule Israel. Because you know what? It's not about me. It's not about David. It's about God, and it's about who the best man is for Israel, to rule Israel. And obviously it's not me. God chose David. So, with the advent of social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, it's all about the spotlight being on us. It's all about us. And, I just think it's really important that we should take the focus off of us and serve others, bless others, love others. Yeshua was always taking the spotlight off himself and putting it on God the Father. Not only that, he was also taking the spotlight off himself and putting it on his disciples even. When he bent down during the last Passover and washed his disciples' feet. I mean, just a powerful example of selflessness, of servitude, and putting others before yourself. So let's think about that today as we go out to our jobs and schools and we go out there in the public. Let's put others before ourselves today. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Come check out Dr. Dialect on the web at abrahamsdescendants.com/Dr. Dialect. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/dialectdoctor.